But I'm glad to get it running anyhow, because we're about, we've had some,
On the latest weather map, low pressure moves east across the southern Great Lakes through this evening, dragging a cold front through the region. High pressure will build on Wednesday through Thursday night as a series of low pressure systems impact the region Friday through Sunday. The forecast for northeast inland Ohio. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of rain. A chance of drizzle, mainly this evening. Patchy fog. Lows in the mid-30s. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Chance of rain 50%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of drizzle in the morning. Patchy fog in the morning. Highs in the lower 40s. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy in the evening, then clearing. Lows in the lower 30s. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, partly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. Warmer with highs in the lower 50s. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, rain. Not as cool with lows in the mid-40s. Temperature rising to around 50 after midnight. South winds 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Chance of rain 90%. Friday, rain likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling into the lower 50s in the afternoon. Chance of rain 70%. Friday night, a chance of rain in the evening, then rain likely after midnight. Lows around 40. Chance of rain 60%. At 7 p.m., weather reports for selected cities. At Akron-Canton Regional Airport, drizzle was falling. The temperature was 47 degrees, dew point 45, and the relative humidity was 93%. The wind was southwest, at 14 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.59 inches. Cloudy, with a temperature of 52. It was cloudy, with a temperature of 44 at Toledo, 47 at Findlay, and 47 at Mansfield. Current time is 7:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is NOAA Weather Radio KDO 94 originating from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Cleveland. We supply the latest available information for Northeast Inland Ohio. Dragging a cold front through the region. High pressure will build on Wednesday through Thursday night as a series of low-pressure systems impact the region Friday through Sunday. The forecast.
T-O-T-B-I-S. T-O-T-B-I-S. T-O-T-B-I-S.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2514 with a release date of Friday, January 2nd, 2026, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The largest commercial satellite enters Earth orbit. The 14th most wanted DX entity is activated for the first time since 2009, and helping blind hams operate using the digital mode. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2514 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Jonesboro, Arkansas, here's Skeeter Nash, N5ASH.
In our top story, the largest commercial satellite to ever be in Earth orbit has been launched. It's the first of a planned constellation by AST Space Mobile, a Starlink rival that was recently granted use of amateur radio frequencies by the FCC. Travis List, N3ILS, gives us the details.
The huge satellite is called Bluebird 6, and it was launched on the 23rd of December from India's Satish Dhawan Space Center, blazing the path to the so-called next-generation constellation of space-based cellular broadband satellites by AST Space Mobile. The satellite features an array of antennas which, when deployed, compares in size to the dimensions of a tennis court, 693 square feet, or about 64 square meters. The project by the Texas-based startup is considered a direct rival to SpaceX's Starlink constellation. Last September, the FCC Space Bureau granted AST Space Mobile limited use of frequencies in the amateur band between 430 and 440 megahertz. Permission was given on an emergency basis only after overwhelming objections raised by ham radio operators and amateur radio societies worldwide. They argued that alternate UHF frequencies are available for the satellite's telemetry, tracking, and command functions. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
The first activation since 2009 of an uninhabited island off Puerto Rico is set to begin this month. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, has the details.
There has been no amateur activity from Desert Chio Island, 13 miles off the Puerto Rican coast, since 2009. But now, the first Puerto Rican-led de-expedition in 48 years to KP5 is preparing for that moment. The organizers, the Manana DX Foundation, and the BRK Island Amateur Radio Club are calling the activation of this small uninhabited island a landmark de-expedition. It's a protected nature reserve with strict limits to access, so 2 self-contained remote deployable units, or RDUs, will be set out in the second week of January. Operators have undergone training specific to the remote activation. They expect to be on the air within 24 hours of RDU's deployment, operating around the clock for about 30 days on 160 to 6 meters, CW, SSB, and FT8. And a live stream will be available from Club Log. Of course, expect pile-ups. The island is the 14th most wanted entity on the DXCC list. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
In the Northern Hemisphere, where it's winter, the growing season for plants is over. But for a new ham radio club in Montana, the growing season has just begun. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, has the details.
The newly formed Headwaters Amateur Radio Club of Montana is growing strong. Members are preparing to hold their first meeting on the 19th of January at the Belgrade Chamber of Commerce office, and making plans to participate in Winter Field Day a week later. According to their publicity director, Carol Flaherty, KA7ROL, the club was formed recently in Belgrade and has already had some success holding a net using 2 meters simplex. They are hoping soon to establish a repeater. The biggest priority will be to provide emergency communications to the various communities in this snowstorm and windstorm-prone region in Montana's Gallatin Valley. For now, the club continues in growth mode. Carol said members expect to welcome area university students and some of the scouts who received their ham licenses after last summer's camporee. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
An important relationship has been formalized by a contract between ham and the local government in one village in Chile. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, has those details.
Almost a year ago, 90% of Chile was plunged into darkness during a national blackout, causing the government to declare a state of emergency. Recalling that disaster recently, the mayor of the municipality of Villa Alemana, Nelson Este, said that, quote, the only ones who were functioning and available were the amateur radio operators, end quote. If anything of that magnitude should ever happen again, or for that matter, should almost any emergency occur at all, the municipality knows that the radio operators are there. Now, however, it has been formalized. The Los Molinos Amateur Radio Club has signed an agreement with Villa Alemana in support of the Communal Emergency Operations Committee. The club's president, Lorenzo Pasalacqua, CA2PJP, said that the agreement strengthens an already healthy working relationship established some time ago. He said, quote, all that was missing was the official signing of this agreement, end quote. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Software builders and tinkerers are being sent a special message from a fellow ham on behalf of radio operators like him who are blind or have low vision, keeping them from enjoying some digital modes. We hear more from Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV.
One of the gifts that Daryl Hilliker, NU7I, has provided to users of contemporary technology is his blog, Blind Access Journal. As an advocate for people who are blind like Daryl, or perhaps challenged by low vision or obstacles posed by aging, he has developed his blog to provide resources to developers, decision makers, and other consumers of technology so they can make the modern world more accessible to everyone. The Arizona Radio Amateur has now issued a call, a QST in every sense, asking fellow hams to turn their efforts toward making digital mode software such as WSJTX more accessible too. Daryl said in a press release that the increasing popularity of digital modes has made it harder for hams with disabilities to participate fully because an accessible user interface is missing from the software. He wrote, quote, a month doesn't go by where I don't hear at least one conversation on the bands where an older ham is contemplating giving up or curtailing their activities due to a physical disability like arthritis or a visual impairment. We can do better as a community, and we can do it together. End quote. He told Newsline in an email that he is issuing a call through his blog, quote, to inspire and engage members of the amateur radio community, end quote. He said that because WSJTX is open source, it provides an opportunity for collaboration for improvements in keyboard navigation, screen reader support, and overall usability. He hopes his blog can be a place where advocates, developers, and users can brainstorm. To volunteer or simply to learn more, contact Daryl at editor@blindaccessjournal, that's one word, .com. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the N0LAR repeater of the Lamar Area Amateur Radio Club in southeast Colorado, or on FM radio station KRHJ on 88.3 megahertz on Fridays at 5 p.m. As students return to school after the holiday break, the AMSAT Youth Initiative has released the second installment of its free online series about satellites, and their impact on life here on Earth. The course is called Satellites and Climate Change and was written by Eric Sonnewald, N2XSE, a retired educator in New Jersey. Eric was also the author of the first installment released in late 2025, Satellites and Meteorology. Anyone wanting to help students learn more in the fields of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics will have access to material in the Youth Initiatives program, which will have 14 installments in all. The program has received 2 grants from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. 2 more courses will be launched online shortly, Satellite and Pollution Control and Satellite and Preservation of Natural Resources. Visit the website buzzsat.com for more details. The New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters was created for the country's ham radio operators 100 years ago in Auckland on the 16th of August. Not looking to miss out on a full-scale celebration this year, hams have already begun marking the occasion with modified call signs. John Williams, VK4JJW, explains.
How do you show pride in the group that has come to represent and advocate for amateur radio in New Zealand? One way is to drop the ZL prefix and swap it out with ZM during the centenary year of 2026, so be listening. The ZM prefix is a recognised special event call sign in New Zealand and has been used before. This occasion is a far happier one than the previous authorisation by Radio Spectrum Management, which allowed the use of ZM during the period of the COVID-19 lockdown. But don't worry, the ZL prefix isn't going away for the year. You'll soon be hearing special event call signs such as ZL100MVL and ZL100AM, which have been approved for use until 31st of March. Here's to the next 100 years for New Zealand's hams. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
You have until Friday, January 2nd, if you wish to file a comment on the FCC's plan to eliminate 4 amateur radio-related regulations that it has deemed unnecessary. We hear more from Cell MB, KD3TZD.
4 rules covering the amateur radio service in the United States are marked for elimination by the Federal Communications Commission unless the agency receives objections filed no later than the 2nd of January, objections that it considers worthy of consideration. The FCC plans to otherwise remove the 4 rules, 3 of which it called obsolete, and 1 that it says duplicates an existing provision. The FCC published its intention in the Federal Register and identified the rules. They are provisions 97.27, 97.29, 97.315B2, considered out of date by the FCC. The 4th provision is 97.521B, which relates to volunteer examiner coordinators. The FCC has scheduled the removal of the 4 rules on the 10th of February. The agency's action is part of its broader 2025 initiative to remove regulations that it considers burdensome or no longer necessary. To see each of the rules relevant to ham radio in depth, visit federalregister.gov. There you will find information on how to file a comment if you wish to do so. This is Cell MB, KB3TZD.
In the world of DX, listen for Thomas, DL7BO, on the air as XU7GNY from Cambodia until the 18th of January. He is operating on 160 through 6 meters using CW SSB FT8 with a focus on the low band. Christoph, DF3TJ, is on the air in Colombia as HK4/DF3TJ until an unspecified date in January. He is including activations of San Andres, IOTA number NA033 as K0/DF3TJ, and Providencia, IOTA number NA049. Rick, WE9PG, is on the air from Grenada, IOTA number NA024, as J38WG until the 16th of January. He will be doing mostly FT8 on 160 through 6 meters with some CW and SSB. See QRZ.com for details about how to QSL each station. The meteorologist who built a lasting bridge between amateur radio and the National Hurricane Center has died. Our final story this week celebrates his vision that began 4 decades ago and still guides us into the new year. Here's Jim Davis, W2JKD, to tell us more.
Well-respected, kind, and personable.
Neil Frank understood how storm preparedness could be vital for life-saving communications during hurricane season. He particularly valued amateur radio for its resiliency when disaster cut conventional means of getting the word out. The meteorologist's long tenure at the helm of the National Hurricane Center, part of the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, changed everything, especially in 1980 when he established an amateur radio station at the NHC in Florida to stay connected to vulnerable areas in the Caribbean. Julio Ripoll, WD4R, was a university student pursuing architecture studies at the time and was president of his school's ham radio club when Neil Frank tapped him for the role of co-founder and first amateur radio coordinator of station WX4 NHC. What was to have been a 2-year assignment lasted for more than 45 years and more than 100 hurricanes. Encouraged by his friend and mentor, Julio, who remains active as assistant coordinator, told Newsline in an email, quote, Dr. Frank showed this young ham kindness and understanding from day one and for many years after. His support and pep talks helped my confidence and inspired me in many ways, unquote. Neil Frank's own tenure at the NHC lasted from 1974 to 1987, the longest term any director has held. He eventually moved to KHOU-TV in Houston, Texas, where, affectionately given the nickname Doc, he was chief meteorologist until 2008. Neil Frank died December 24th, 2025, Christmas Eve Day, at the age of 94. I'm Jim Davis, W2JKD.
It's a new year. How about some new ham radio haikus from our Newsline listeners? Visit our website at arnewsline.org, and as you compose your ode to your favorite on-the-air activity, we will help you use the correct number of syllables to make an authentic haiku. Submit your work, and then sit back and wait to hear whether your inspired haiku will be highlighted on our website, where everyone can read it. With thanks to Amateur News Daily, AMSAT News Service, ARRL, Belgrade News, Carol Flaherty, KA7ROL, Daryl Hilliker, NU7I, David Baer, K7DB, DX News, Federal Register, FCC, 425DX Bulletin, Gizmodo, Julio Ripoll, WD4R, KHOU-TV, KY9A Telegraph, Municipality of Via Alemana, New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, shortwaveradio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Skeeter Nash, N5ASH in Jonesboro, Arkansas, saying 7-3. As always, we thank you for listening. We wish all our listeners the very best for the year ahead in 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2026. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its material even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights are reserved.
QST, please stick around for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net, beginning at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NTAT.
W8WKY.
The weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes. Get ready for the weekly SARAnet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Calling CQ for the W8WKY Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Club Net. My name is Dave. My call is NT8D, November Tango 8 Delta, but I'll be using the club called W8WKY for business this evening. We meet on this repeater every Tuesday night at 8 p.m., and we encourage anybody and invite anybody to participate in this net. It is a controlled net. All traffic must pass through net control, and as always, priority or emergency traffic can break into this net at any time. I'm going to start out the net with a couple of announcements. Just a reminder, the SARA monthly meeting is January 15th at the Wadsworth Eagles, 7 o'clock p.m. Food at various places beforehand, most popularly the Nuestra Casa Nuestra down the road. Also, Winter Field Day is January 24th and 25th. This will be at 8245 Fulton Road in Sterling, Ohio. Josh is heading that up. And at this point, I'll ask for any elaboration on those announcements or any other announcements for the club. Please call now.
Whiskey 8 Hotel, Romeo Foxtrot.
Good evening, Josh. I was hoping you were lurking out there. Please go ahead and elaborate on Winter Field Day for me.
W8WKY, W8HRF, good evening, Dave. Thank you. Just a couple quick elaborations. There are sign-ups now live on the W8WKY.org. It's the first post on the website. We have one sign-up for operators/attendees. So we're operating 3 India, 3I, which means 3 stations indoors. That's the current plan. So there are plenty of time slots available. We're going to try our best to keep them manned for the duration of the event so we can stay competitive. There is a second sign-up sheet if you plan to stick around for one of the 3 different meals. There will be lunch on Saturday, dinner on Saturday, and then breakfast on Sunday. So check out the post on the website for more information. The rules are there, the Winter Field Day rules, and shoot me an email if you have any questions. And I think that's about it for tonight, Dave. Appreciate it. Back to you, sir.
All right there, Josh. That sounds like a wonderful time. Thank you so much for all the contributions you make to the. It is so much appreciated. Anybody else with any other announcements for the SARA Club Net tonight? Please call.
W8WKY.
Nothing heard. Off the blue string, I have HRF, of course, ELA, LYG, and Whiskey 8 Tango Delta on my log here, so you guys don't have to check in. Let me first open this up for in and out check-ins for the SARA Club Net. Please call now.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carry at Portage Lakes, and I'll be in and out.
Kilo Delta 8, November Echo Oscar, KD8, NEO, Darrell and Holmes County, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Alpha Romeo Oscar, W8 ARO, Allen and Ashland, in and out.
Kilo Bravo 8,
Kilo
Victor
Echo
Hotel
8,
Mike,
Victor Oscar X-Ray,
KD8, in and out.
GOX, Scott and Vermilion, in and out.
Tim and DeVar. I'll be in and out.
All right, let me pick it up. I missed one. Got W8CTM, KD8NEO, W8ARL, who collided with a KB8 something. Get right to you. I got KE8VOX and KZ8TG. Thank you all for showing up and saying hello tonight. Let me get the KB8 station again, please.
Kilo Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Mike, Tom and Green, in and out.
Got you, Tom. Thank you very much. Any other in and out check-ins for the Tuesday Night Club Net? Please call now.
Kilo Echo 8 India Mike Echo David Sterling, in and out.
November 8 Mike Whiskey Sierra Pete in Stark County, in and out.
Hey Dave, this is Kilo Echo 8 Tango Lima Bravo, KE8 TLB, Randy and Rittman. Be in and out, 73. God bless everyone.
All right, terrific. I've got KE8 IME and 8 MWS and KE8 TLB. Thank you guys for your in and out. Wishing everybody there a great start to your new year. Thanks for joining us and saying hello on Tuesday night. Let's go ahead and let me take, first of all, any new check-ins, any first-timers, any new club members like to jump in and say hello and get on the list, please call now. All right, we got a bunch of scrunchy old-timers here. All right, opening up for check-ins for the Sarah Tuesday Night Club Net. Those who'd like to stick around, make a comment, and do trivia, please call.
Please copy Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra AA8 CS Gary in Fairlawn.
WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG. Nick, down the farm on Allstar.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Delta Tango Papa KF8 DTP Lori Maslin.
Please copy Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India Bravo KE8 UIB John in Maslin.
KE8 KVG Stephen in New Franklin.
This is WO3X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray John in Cuyahoga Falls.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry in Shreve.
Kilo 4 Oscar Golf K4 OG Mark in Copley.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Delta Tango Alpha KF8 DTA Jeff New Franklin.
Please copy November 7 Victor Alpha November and 7 VAN Brian in and out 73s.
KE8 RFK Kilo Echo 8 Romeo Foxtrot Kilo Scott over by Summit Lake.
Oh Dave, is this
regular check-ins or this in and out check-ins? Here's KCFQV, Mark.
Whiskey 2, Juliet, Lima, Sierra, John, W2JLS, Farallon, Ohio.
Alpha 8, Charlie, Tango, AAHCT, Craig and Shreve. Good evening, Dave.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor Zulu Alpha, KE8, VZA, Eric in Strongsville.
All right, that's a fine group of check-ins. Anybody else before I read out who I've got? It looks like everybody who was on the blue screen checked in on RF here. Let me tell you, I've got staying here, AA8CS, KD8SLG, KF8DTP, KE8UIB, Stephen, I think it's KE8KBG. We'll have to make sure I got your call right. WO3X, KC8HDP, K4OG, K8PJW, KF8DTA, N7VAN. In and out, thank you there, Brian. We got KE8RFK, KC8FQV, W2JLS, AA8CT, and KE8VZA. Did I miss anybody, or do we have any additional? All right, very good. Let's get the net started. I'm going to do a trivia Phil style, K8PMI, and this trivia actually tells an entire story. So please, listen carefully. Only answer the question that is asked. Please do not give any rationalization or explanations, because you could ruin the next question. So we can talk about the whole story when we're done, but again, please just keep your answers concise, simple, direct, answers only, and let's see how this goes. So, the first question to start off with this evening, and again, these all tie together. Who is credited with inventing the first metal detector? Again, answers only, no explanations. Gary, you're up first, Mr. Outgoing President, AA8CS. Thanks for being here this evening, NTAT, or excuse me, W8WKY.
W8WKY.
Good evening, Sarah and friends. Dave, good evening to you. Good to be back in town despite the weather, although it has gotten a bit warmer since I got back into town. We had a fabulous trip. It was great seeing the kids over Christmas. That was really quite nice. Do appreciate that. And we had a side trip. We flew out to Phoenix and then went off to Sedona and Flagstaff. I had never been to Flagstaff before. I never knew that there was a major city with an altitude higher than Denver. Flagstaff, 9,000 feet, if you can imagine. Anyway, drop dead gorgeous. Snow up there, of course. But it was really quite nice. And I do want to give a shout out to Rod, W8JAX, Josh, W8HRF, Fred, WA8KOC, and you, Dave, of course, NT8D, and Craig, AA8CT. All you guys covered for me, and that is very much appreciated. I think, let's see, I think most of that was barometer net, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, it all was barometer net. And it just goes to show you that the barometer net stands on its own. Doesn't matter who's running the show. It is the barometer net, and it is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association's barometer net. Anyway, geez, the question, I'm not real sure about this. Matter of fact, I really don't know at all who would have done that. Let's see. I'm going to think, who invented things? Oh, man. I don't even have a clue as to who to guess here. So I guess I'm going to just pass on this one, Dave. You stumped me, man. You stumped me. With that, this is AA8CS back to net.
All right, Gary. Well, thanks a lot for all the addition there, and you know, you actually kind of made me feel good that I stumped you this evening on the first question. But I think I might be on the right track with this one, and you kind of got me a little giddy there. Hi. All right, Gary, we'll see you at the meeting, I'm sure. Hey, let me get up. I have a few that I actually took off the blue string at the top of the list. I got HRF, ELA, LYJ, and TD. So let me go back to those guys, and then we'll get back down to Nick, just Nick, here in just a minute. Let's go back up to Josh, W8HRF. Good evening, Josh. In addition to your announcements about field day, what else you got? And do you have an answer for trivia tonight?
W8WKY, W8HRF. I'm trying to think. I don't. Colonel Thermo Waldo Bean? I don't know. I really don't know, Dave. You got me stumped on that one. Who invented the thermometer? I know it's not Ben Franklin. I'm just going to say Ben Franklin. I don't know. Anyways, Dave, Betty is dying to say hello. Do you mind if I get some third-party traffic on here?
Oh, I would love to hear from Betty. I'm sure everybody else would, too. Go ahead there, Betty. Let's hear you talk.
All right, W8HRF with third-party traffic. What do you want to say? You want to say hi?
Yeah, I want to say hi.
Yeah, go ahead. It's keyed up. Go ahead.
Mom's with Will. Can she gonna give him cookies?
Okay.
And
what'd you do today? You don't know.
We went to Boxman and we went to Cece's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say 73.
There
we go. All right. And Merry Christmas. Oh, all right. Dave, I also forgot to mention in the announcements, we're going to have a quick operations committee meeting this Thursday. And the main purpose is just to update those who are curious on what's going on with Winter Field Day, what the current plans are. So just get everybody on the same page, the setup crew and whatever. So it should be quick, but it should be productive. So what else? I'm going to run out to the gym. We're finishing up and putting the kids in bed, and that's about it. So thanks for picking me up, sir, and have yourself a good evening. And W8WKY, W8HRF, 73.
All right there, Josh. Merry Christmas to Betty. Sounds like she had a wonderful day. And tell her to enjoy the cookies. I had a neighbor bring over a plate of cookies for Christmas. It was really nice. So Merry Christmas to Betty. You guys have a terrific evening. And no, Mr. Cornwaldo Bean was not the inventor of the first metal detector. All right, KF8ELA. I'm going to get over to you here. Zach, who do you think invented the first metal detector?
W8WKY, this is KF8ELA. Good evening, everyone. For trivia, man, you've got me stumped on this one, too. I really don't know who would have invented that, but metal detectors are pretty cool. That's all I've got on that topic. But, man, top of the list this evening. It's kind of rare for me. I missed the net this morning, so I wanted to make sure I got in tonight and said hello to everyone, so hello. But we got home from work today, played on the radio for a bit, and found that 10 meters was open to Japan, so that was pretty cool. I grabbed a couple of contacts on FT8 and ended up completing the QRZ World Continents Award, and so that's always good, just having a little bit of fun there. But also been dabbling with the JS8 call and learning a new digital mode, and that's been going pretty well so far. Haven't made any contacts yet, just kind of getting familiar with it for now and listening and trying to figure out how it all works. But anyway, we're having a good time over here, and that's all I've got for this evening. So we'll send it back to net. This is KF8ELA.
All right, good luck getting everything running there, Zach. I've downloaded a bunch of stuff on the new computer here. I actually got the driver working to connect the ICOM to the computer. I just haven't got all the, don't necessarily have all the settings correct on the software yet. So we're going to be playing with that over the next week. Maybe I'll get some advice at the next meeting. But you have a good one. And all right, we still have everybody stumped. I'm glad we got a big list tonight. K8LYJ, you're up here next. What do you have for the net tonight? And who do you think invented or is at least credited with inventing the first metal detector?
W8WKY, this is K88LYJ. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Saranet. Don't really have much for the group. Just trying to get back into the post-holiday routine here, trying to get everything back to normal. As far as who invented the metal detector, well, I know that one, and I know why, and I'll keep shut. But it was Alexander Graham Bell, and I'll go ahead and give it back to you. This is KA8LYJ.
All right there, Robert. Well, thank you very much for playing by the rules, and you are correct. The person who is credited with inventing the first metal detector is, in fact, Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, we're going to head over to John now, WATD, and then we'll get back to Nick here. Stand by there just. What is the circuit at the heart of this first metal detector? WATD, that's the new question. Over to you.
W8WKY. NTD in the net, Whiskey 8 Tango Delta. Evening, Dave. Evening, all. I don't have an answer for that. It would have to be an oscillator, but they must be talking about some specific type, and I don't know which type they chose. Been playing in the attic all week. Playing with antennas. Got another dual bander antenna, a 220 antenna working up there, and I finally got Jim's Attic Master installed, hanging around up there, and was able to check it. It's resonant exactly in the middle of 20 meters where it needs to be, but it's going to have to be shortened some on 40. It's just below the band. Once I get that, I'll go ahead and run a feed line into the office, and be one more thing I can do when I'm trying to get away from doing work. NTD in the net, W8TD.
Finding creative ways to avoid work. That's what I always thought about a lot of the students I used to teach. They're really smart. They spent like hours trying to figure out how to not do their work. Anyways, thanks a lot, John. Right, we'll keep the question up here a little bit, see if anybody gets close. KD8SLG. Good evening there, Nick. What do you have for the net? And do you have any idea what the electronics are behind this first metal detector?
WAWKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Dave, and all of the Sarah Club netizens. Dave, I'm an appliance operator. So you're asking me which circuit it uses. I'm going to say turn the power on. I thought John's oscillator thing was a pretty good idea. That makes sense to me, but what do I know? Anyway, man, fine business. Good idea. I like it. I'm wondering what road it's going to go down, though, because I'm just going to leave it alone. Sat in on the winter field day meeting on Sunday, and that was a good time. A lot of stuff going on there. Should be a great time. So get yourselves signed up and go to an operating event instead of a party. It's KD8 SLG. Back to net control. Thanks, Dave.
All right, thanks a lot there, Nick. I do appreciate it. And we're going to play with this one a little bit. We'll leave that question hang out there for those who are technically savvy. And anybody who would like to answer that question is welcome to answer that question. What is the circuit that actually was behind or at the heart of the original metal detector? But for those who are not so technically inclined, let me go ahead and get to the next question here, and this would be an alternative that you can answer. What was this metal detector first used for? Once again, what was this metal detector first used for? And we're going to go to Lori, KF8DTP, see what she thinks. Then we'll get John and his folks answer, too. Go ahead there, Lori, and W8WKY.
G8 from KF8DTP. John will give his parents' answer, but you know, if my dad was sitting right here, he'd say to find him some coins. So I'm going to go with my dad's answer that I know that he would say. I really don't know, but I just had to throw that out there because, you know, my dad loves to go and take his metal detector and see what he can find. Every time he comes to my house, he digs in my yard. So, you know, with that, I'm just going to hand it back over to you, Dave. This is KF8DTP. I'll be clear.
All right there, Lori. I like your answer, and very best to your dad, 73s to him. And you guys have a wonderful evening. And we'll go ahead and pick up John here, see what John has, and hopefully you guys have both made a bunch of nickels today. But John, what you got for the net, and what do you think this metal detector was used for?
NT8D from K8UIB. Good evening, Dave, everybody out there on the net. And I'm doing the weekly, going back and forth with Mom and Dad, and my parents are saying they were first used to find coins. I want to take the alternate one, the first question, and I'm wondering if it was some kind of magnetic circuit. Just a guess there, and I'm kind of with Lori. I wish my father-in-law was here because he's been playing with metal detectors way before me and Lori ever got together, and man, he probably has 3 or 4 of them in his garage that he uses on a regular basis. So, yeah, I'd really like to pick his brain right now. But, hey, I'll give it a shot. I'm a team player, right, Dave? But with that, I hope everybody's having a good evening and stuff. And it was a long work day today. I'm just happy to be home playing radio and enjoying the evening. With that, you guys, this is K8UIB living the $5 dream, a nickel at a time. 7-3s, y'all. Thanks for running the net tonight, Dave.
All right there, John. Well, you were scratching at the answer there, because to make an electronic circuit, the easy electronic magnet, that would be to make a coil. So you're climbing up the right tree with that. Getting close, John. Good answer for that one. We'll see if we get a little more detail. The next, Stephen, I think I got your call wrong. I wrote down KE8KG. KBG, it could be J. Please clarify your call for me and then go ahead with your transmission.
WAWKY, this is KE8 KVG Kilo Echo 8 Kilo Victor Golf. Having a fine evening. I'm just going to answer the question, probably question number 2, and I'm going to say to find jewelry.
No, I would not consider this to be jewelry, that's for sure. Anything else for us tonight?
Nope, first couple times on the net, just kind of listening, seeing what everybody else has got going on, and trying to get used to it. K8 KVG 73.
Steven, you take care there, and please join us whenever you can. Check out the Boredom Breaker nets on Wednesdays and Saturdays, Beacon Net Sundays and Wednesdays, Barometer Net every morning except for Sunday, and jump in and say hello whenever you can. All right, this is WAWKY with the Sarah Tuesday Night Club Nets. Up next, we've got John, WO3X. You are welcome to answer either question there, John, either the technical or the purposeful. If you know the circuit that made this first metal detector, or if you know what it was first used for. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening. This is WO3X, John here in Cuyahoga Falls. Well, let's see. Why would they want to be looking for metal? Let's see. I mean, if it's jewelry or coins or something, you can just see them, you know. Well, let's see. Back in the old days, they didn't have X-ray, so I'd say maybe they're looking for metal in people, like bullets or yeah, I'll say bullets. I'll go with bullets. So this is WO3X, back to the net.
W8WKY.
All right there, John, I will give you points. The first use of this metal detector was used to try to find a bullet. All right, let's get a little more specific. In whom was this bullet lodged? KC8 HDP, do you have any idea about that? And what else do you have for the net tonight?
W8WKY and the net, this is KC8HDP. Well, good evening, Dave, and everyone on the net. Doing all right. Things are quiet here in Shreve. Had a nice lunch with the Aries group here in Worcester today, and had a good time with that. Let's see. Let's get to the trivia question. I'm going to guess William McKinley. And leave it at that. So, everyone have a great rest of the week, and good hearing everyone. So that will send things back to you, Dave, at W8WKY and the net from KC8HDP 73.
Right there, Jerry. You've got the right category of person, but you've got the wrong individual. So I will give you a clean miss on that one, but not bad. K4OG, in whom was this bullet lodged? And you got an extra hint from Jerry there.
MTAD, K4OG. Well, I was hoping to answer the one about what the circuit was at the heart of the metal detector. Because the first thing that came to mind circuitry-wise was a bridge rectifier. And to whom the bullet lies in, that'd be the sheriff, says Eric Clampton, I think.
He didn't shoot the deputy. K4OG, back to net.
I believe that would have been Donald Fagen. Steely Dan. Yeah, no, not quite. But nice to talk to you. Can't wait to see you guys again, and we'll have to hang out here at the end of the month, I'm sure. K8PJW, Phil, the Trivia Master, you might know this one. You can answer either the technical or the person question, and what else you got to the net tonight?
W8WKY, K8PJW. Good evening, Dave, and good evening to all the netizens out there. Great to hear everyone. Let's see, I have no idea on the technical side, but I'm going to guess that Garfield for where the bullet was found in. And other than that, I was at the physical therapy this afternoon, and he was actually kind of pleased on my progress. So that's a good sign. So hopefully I can strengthen up the areas where the nerve was being pinched and be able to get back to normal again. Other than that, just hanging out. So I'll just listen out for the answers to the trivia. KAPJW, back to the net.
All right there, Phil. Well, I do hope that everything works out with the physical therapy and all that stuff, and you get back to just being on top of the world there again. And you are correct. The first metal detector was used to try to find the bullet that was launched in James A. Garfield. So we still have the technical question out there. Now, of course, it should be fairly clear and obvious that this effort did fail. There are basically three reasons why this effort failed. And so there are three possible answers, I guess, to this next. And why did this metal detector fail to detect the bullet in James A. Garfield? All right, KF8DTA. Jeff, we got you up here next. And then we're going to go to Scott, RFK.
Good evening, W8WKY. This is KF8DTA. The only thing I could think of is that it was a copper bullet. I don't know. Anyway, ever since getting my general, I've been disappeared into HF world, and I've missed a lot of debts. But I'm good to be back and listening to you guys, and Happy New Year, everyone. 73's KF8 DTA back to net control.
Jeff, you're on the right track there. Wasn't copper that made the problem, but you're kind of really close on one of the answers there. Let's see. KE8RFK, good morning or evening. Sorry, I'm so used to doing this in the morning. Scott, how you doing? What you got for the net? What do you think made this effort to detect the bullet in Garfield fail?
It's KE8RFK here. I think I could probably answer just about all of them. But, yeah, the bullet failed because the thing they was using to do the metal detector, well, the metal detector was made with a coil. Made with a coil hooked to a battery. And it had a switch to it. And it would pick up the bed springs. It would pick up all the way through him, so they couldn't detect the battery because he had bed springs in the bed and they couldn't find the bullet. But it was made with a battery, a couple of coils, and a switch to turn it on and off.
All right, I'm going to give you points on two questions there. Yes, the metal bed springs did interfere with the detector, and the detector is actually was an induction balance machine It was constructed of a primary coil with an HF pulsing current and a secondary coil that would balance the current and cancel out the noise. When a piece of metal was placed between the coils, it disrupted the balance and the pulse could be heard. So that's how he kind of had the thing going in the first place. And the bed springs kind of interfered with that. They didn't think to move them off the bed. All right, there's a couple more reasons why that didn't work, and the last one will lead into the last section of questions here if we get that far. Nice job. KC8FQV, we're looking for any other reason that detecting the bullet in Garfield failed. W8WKY.
Sort of took some of the possible ones I was going to use away. You don't want to answer them. Well, probably they didn't have enough power to drive the magnet. I didn't have enough power to drive the coils to get it through. But other than that, yeah, I checked in the pajama net tonight. I heard it. I've dialed through a couple of times and I've heard it there. And tonight I said, yeah, I got to dial into that thing. And also I dialed into Crooked River. So we did that. And we got our ears surgically lowered today. Yeah, they lowered them today, the ears. So we'll send it back your way, Dave. KCFQV.
W8WKY.
All right, there, Mark. Sorry they took your answer, and we're going to go find my barber in a couple of weeks myself. Hair's getting too long. Cats started walking on it in the middle of the night. It bothered me. Anyways, thanks for joining us. You have a terrific night. We'll see you probably at the next meeting. Let's see. We got W2JLS, and then we have CT and VZA after that. John, good evening to you. What do you got for the net? And why couldn't they find the bullet in Garfield?
Hey, Dave. Good evening to you. Good evening on your ears to you and all the listeners. My guess with that's going to be that it was maybe the bullet's composition was not sufficient to be detected with the metal detector. I would also mention, when you first asked the question, I never would have guessed Alexander Graham Bell. I was leaning induction, and I was thinking Michael Faraday. But I suppose that he had his concepts had not been pushed forward in the context of a metal detector, but certainly kind of made some sense. I'm going to guess that it was a lead bullet, and maybe that the metal detectors, at least at that time, might not have picked up lead, not being ferromagnetic.
All right, John gets points. Alexander Graham Bell said, if the bullet was only made out of silver, it would have been easy. Lead did not cause enough electrical interference between the coils to make it easily detectable. All right, so far, so good. There's one more reason, and this is external to the technical question, I suppose. There was one more reason why they failed to find the bullet in Garfield, which may have saved his life. AA8CT, Craig, what do you think that reason might be?
W8WKY, I have no idea. If I'd have been up one, I'd have got maybe the lead thing, but yeah, nothing. The focus of the, I'm not even going to try. Good evening to all. Happy New Year to all. And great to hear you in there again. Monday today. That's pretty cool. AAHCT. Back to net.
All right there, Craig. Nice to catch you here tonight. And I'm thinking about throwing out a hint after we get through. We'll see what Eric says here. But thank you for participating tonight and joining us on the net. Looking forward to see you at the next meeting here. KE8 VZA. This is W8WKY. What do you have for the net tonight? And what do you think was the other thing that caused the failure to find the bullet in James A. Garfield?
WAWKY in the net, KE8 VZA here. Well, I'll take a crack at the trivia question first. He had something in his coat pocket that blocked, that absorbed the bullet, that contained the bullet. The bullet got lodged in that. It's kind of a shaky answer because then maybe the metal detector would have picked it up, but I might have the wrong politician as well. But we're going to go with that. The bullet was lodged in his speech or a book or something that he had in his upper coat pocket. As far as things for the net, we're back to work, back to the real world this week, and it's not going too badly. It's actually going okay, which we'll take that. Nice to see a little reprieve from the cold, and our K9 forward weather observer really appreciates that, although he doesn't want to forage too much further out in the yard because it's still too cold for his liking. But anyway, good to hear everybody. Thanks for running the net, Dave, and KE8 VZA back to net control.
All right, Eric. Love the guest there. Thank you very much. Nice to have you aboard for the Club Net tonight, and we hope we get to see you again. This month here. A bunch of stuff going on. All right, I'm at the bottom of the list. I've added here KC1 VQS, Paul and Maine, and KC0LRM. Anybody else like to join the Tuesday night Sierra Club Net and take a shot at the last part of the trivia and say hello? Please call now.
Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Hotel Golf KE8 ZHG Duggan Norton.
All right, thanks for joining us there, Doug. All right, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off here with the trivia. Alexander Graham Bell invented the first metal detector, which was used first to try to detect the bullets that had lodged inside James A. Garfield. They had trouble finding the bullet because he was lying on metal bed springs, and the bullet was made out of lead. And the other reason had to do with somebody's ego. That'll be the hint that I'm going to drop. So if anybody can tell me why else they failed to find the bullet, we'll go from there. Again, we got KC1 VQS, KL0LRM, and KZ8ZHG. Paul, VQS, go right ahead. Good evening.
Well, good evening, everyone on the net, and I have no clue on how to answer that trivia, but I just will report that we are at 21 degrees in the deep freeze, but are warming up. But I know James Garfield was one of the presidents that
was assassinated. I'm just trying to figure out how that all fits into everything, you know. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm a history buff, but I don't think I can answer that question. But anyway, I just wanted to check in and 7-3 everyone, back to net, KC1BQS.
All right there, Paul. Thanks for checking in this evening. Do appreciate it. Nice to talk to you, and we'll catch you next Monday, I'm sure. There was a little bit. They could have found it. Somebody got in the way. KL0LRM. Do you know who that person is? And W8WKY.
W8WKY. Thanks for getting me off the blue screen. Doing pretty good here. Just trying to finish a little work up real quick. I'm getting in some nets here at the same time. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to take a guess because I really don't have a clue. I might say his wife. I don't know. That's the only thing I can really think of. I was thinking something else, but some of the clues you got changed my thought pattern. So I'm going to go with that, and that's all I got. Thanks for running that, and then I'll let you get back there, and I'm sure I'm wrong. But back to you.
Now, she didn't have that much influence over over what was going on, unfortunately. But good guess, I thought. You have a terrific night. Thanks for joining us, and have a safe start to your new year. KEAZHG, Doug. Good evening. You're at the bottom of the list. We'll make one last call here when you're done. What do you got for the net? And who do you think stopped them from finding the bullet in Garfield?
W8WKY.
Hi, Dave. Happy New Year. It's Doug here at KE8ZHG. I should know this. I actually have a couple metal detectors, and I remember reading this whole story a few years ago, but I can't remember the details. I know Garfield ended up dying before they found it, but I'm not sure who stopped it. But we're doing good here. My wife and I went on a nice hike today and did a few errands, got the oil changed on our truck, and doing a little bit of wood carving here while I'm listening to the net. I'm carving this. It started out as a witch's head, but it kind of looks more like some, almost like a Frenchman, so I'm just kind of learning how here, but that's all I got. 73 to everyone, and back to you, Dave. Thanks.
All right. Well, sounds like you're having a pleasant evening. My dad does a little wood carving, too, and keeps his mind off things. And, let it be whatever it turns out to be. You're just revealing what's in the wood. Hi. 73, have a terrific night. We'll wrap up here the trivia in a second. Any last minute check-ins, last calls for the Sarah Tuesday Night Club Net? Please call now. All right, nothing heard. So to finish up the trivia, Dr. Bliss only allowed Bell to search the right side of Garfield's body. However, the bullet had been lodged in the left side. Dr. Bliss thought he knew more than he did. Also, Dr. Bliss searched for the bullet with his bare fingers inside the wound, thus killing Garfield by infecting him with sepsis. Of course, let me get a beep. Lister, from which we get the name Listerine, in 1860 had already discovered that carbolic acid reduces post-operative infections as an antiseptic. But Dr. Bliss did not believe in the science. Thus, Garfield died unnecessarily. So that is the trivia story tonight. Thank you all for playing along. I hope you enjoyed that format. Thank you to Phil for inspiring it. Any last comments? Anything else for the good of the net before I close it up? W8WKY.
Dave, I love it. KD8SLG.
I got a comment, KA8LYJ.
Thank you, Nick. I just loved a little bit of Ohio history there. Garfield was a very interesting character. There's a lot more to that man that most people realize, and probably because he only was president for such a short time. K8LYJ, go ahead with your comment. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, you set off my tisms tonight. I got 7 books on Garfield. He's a personal hero of mine. Interesting side note on what you were saying about Bliss. Charles Guiteau, the assassin, testified in court that he only shot Garfield, that it was his doctors that killed him. And he wasn't exactly wrong. This is KA8LYJ.
Roger. Factually correct, intentionally dubious. Thanks a lot. I do appreciate the extra, and hopefully we get to just hang out sometime and talk about Garfield. As I said, sounds like an interesting character. Been to his house a number of times back when I was a kid. Grew up in Mentor there. So I've been through that house a number of times. So it sounds like a fun conversation down the road. Anything else? I'm going to close it up.
W8WKY, W8ELM, Eric in Orville.
Eric, I'm going to put you on the log. Go ahead.
Well, good evening to everybody. I was just sitting here waiting for the Millersburg net to start and tuned in and heard that you were still going here, so I will give you a very quick check-in. Nothing much to say tonight. Had a good day, an interesting meeting with some of the people from my high school class. We're getting ready for our 60th reunion. Back to net from W8ELM.
All right there, Eric. Well, thanks a lot for jumping in here. Hope you caught the end of the trivia, since you have been our trivia master here in the past. And sounds like you're going to have a good time with old friends. Wishing you the best. And hopefully a lot of them have stuck around with you. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net here and release the frequency. I want to say thank you to everybody who checked into the net tonight and everybody who listened, participated in any way. Please make sure that you go to W8WKY.org, find out what's going with the club, come to a meeting. It's free to show up and say hello. You're more than welcome to, and we will convince you to join us, I'm sure. So, from the W8WKY repeater, on 147.39 megahertz in beautiful downtown Doylestown, Ohio. I'm going to release this frequency to regular amateur radio use. We had 33 check-ins tonight, everybody. Thanks very much. See you all at the next meeting. 73 W8WKY and NTAD.
W8WKY.
N8ND testing. N8ND clear. N8ND testing. N8ND clear.
W8WKY.